What's up? Welcome to another uncomfortable opinion. Uh, I've been really avoiding politics for a large part, but again, it's like a hobby of mine. I like getting into it, and one of the things that I like to think about is all the stuff with the presidential election, stuff surrounding Trump, the opposition he faces, even the Q drops. That's something I like to research, and there's a bunch of information that comes in there, and people are kind of either 100% believing in it or 100% says it's fake or a LARP, live action role play, if you don't know what that means. And my actual thoughts of it is I'm really on the fence, not saying it's fake or real, but it makes me feel like, okay, if you know the purpose of the C underscore A organization, you know that it's to cause civil unrest and to spark dissent amongst the government. And if is this one of those operations, or is it something else? Is it really the government trying to uh, be more for the people by the people type deal? And I really don't know, and I don't think there's a definite way to know. That's why I say try to treat things like rat poison 99% good food, that 1% poison. And something else we can't do. I mean, I like Trump. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. I like Trump. I do support Trump, but I'm not a die-hard, oh, he's the end-all, be-all type thing, because no, you shouldn't be that way about any president, in my opinion. You shouldn't be that way about any leader, because every leader is not above criticism. They're not above reproach. They're not above making errors. They're not above doing wrong. It's they need to be held at a same standard. With that being said, the impeachment stuff is just a huge distraction. You can see from just what they're trying to impeach Trump for. It's just really, it really seems like they're trying to CYA cover their own tails, I guess, with all the things that they've got caught with their hands in the cookie jar. Because once you start looking into it, you see that, well, they're pointing all these fingers at Ukraine, and it's well known now that, what's his name? Oh, Sleepy Joe Biden. He did put pressure on Ukraine back in the day, holding aid for $1 billion so that way an attorney would get fired. But not only that, if you keep looking into this topic, it's very surprising that how many of these people who are for impeachment, excuse me, I talk too much and work up indigestion, but all of these people who have ties to Ukraine from their children on boards or take money from them, and not only Ukraine, they even have ties to China like this. And that's just on this Ukraine topic. And it seems like everybody who's pushing for impeachment has something to lose in livelihood, in, I guess, laws being broke, bent, all sorts of type of, I'm not even sure how to put it if it's other than nepotism, because a lot of that's what it boils down to. It's because they got to take full advantage of their parents' position and they get a lot of money for it. And that's really annoying, and especially when it's right there in your face, it kind of creates this political fatigue to where you're like, how is this not blatantly obvious? How are they not went to jail? How are they not out of office? How are they still able to do this type of questions? And that's why I've been avoiding politics here recently, because of all the political fatigue it causes, and it just makes me mentally tired, just not so much to look into it, just to see how in your face it is. This is beyond like any symbolism you see in things, at least with most of the symbolism on movies and TV. It's subtle, and you have to look for it. But with how this impeachment stuff is going, it is just, it's ludicrous. It really is. And then you have it's like the people who are in power, and this is left and right. This isn't just, I guess, the Democrats. There's Republicans like this too. The ones who are in power are seeking more power and trying to make sure that they stay in power. And that's where it gets kind of really just, I can't even look at it for a while, and that's why I haven't spoke about it. And I'm gonna probably have a couple videos on this. And again, like I said, I'm a Trump supporter, but in the same sense, I'm not. I don't trust him on all levels because I don't know him personally. And people are like, "Well, you can." He said this or he said that, and you're like, yeah, okay, but he's done good things for the economy on one hand, but on the other hand, you know, he's thought about putting in place red flag laws. Red flag laws are terrible. It's a terrible idea because what happens with the red flag law is that, let's say you get in an argument with somebody on the internet and they think you might have some sort of firearm at your house. They could literally call the police department in your area, make an anonymous tip saying that you might hurt yourself or somebody, and you will come get SWAT teamed. And you, at the very least, you lose your weapons, and they say it's for a year. Try to get your weapons back from the police. And I'm not criticizing the police, I'm criticizing the law because it is a fouled law. Like it's just so bunk, it's not even funny. Or let's say when they kick in your door, you have a TV remote or something in your hand and they shoot you to protect themselves. There's too many terrible things that come with red flag laws. It's something to look into. So it's bad, and to even entertain the idea is nuts in my mind. For a Second Amendment type thing goes, in reality, I'm so pro Second Amendment, I really don't care if people have rocket launchers and tanks, just as long as if, say, they accidentally blow something up and hurt a bunch of people or something like that, they're held to the full accountability to their action. You know, there's this whole lack of accountability in things now to where, like with drunk driving or something, somebody crashes in, kills a family, and they get a lesser sentence or something because they're drunk and have a lot of money, and that's ridiculous. Oh, I didn't mean to do it because I was drunk. My goodness, that's terrible to think about because one, you chose to drink and you were choosing to get drunk. Two, you chose to get in a vehicle. It doesn't matter if your judgment was impaired. It follows a decision that one had made to do it. You know, and instead you get these lesser sentences because of the circumstances, but these circumstances aren't good, and we're not held up to any level of accountability on that, and that's really disappointing. And it kind of rolls on over to back to the gun issue instead of, like, okay, these shootings, and I can't verify what shootings happen or don't happen because I'm not a investigator on the scene, and that's why anything that I hear about through any media, I question. I'm like, seems fishy, you know, and I'll look into it, and then at the end of the day, I'm just like, I don't know what happened, but it's it's not the gun's fault, because that's like saying if somebody murders somebody with a hammer, it's the hammer's fault and not the person who did it. So, and again, this is me going off into a tangent just on one topic, but starting from one topic about Trump, and the point I guess that's rounding up to be is like, can you honestly support somebody or like somebody without agreeing with them 110% or even 80% or what have you? Yeah, you can do it, because I think there might be a level of people who like Trump out there because they sure as heck don't want the alternative. I'm just mainly referencing how there's the big push for, you know, the overall gun control, the overall speech and thought control, where you get censored for everything. And then you have the, the living wage. Living wage is so ridiculous because what you're doing is paying people for doing nothing, and that's going to discourage other people from wanting to do anything, and then you're going to kill production, and then who's going to give the money, you know? Because, the government gives the money. Well, government doesn't have money, they have taxes. And taxes are a whole nother thing that get me going too, but, you know, like all good Americans, pay your taxes. You know, it's just like Jesus said, you give what's God is God's, give what's Caesar is Caesar's, you know. It's just how that is. But then keep going down the list, you have the abortion issue, which that's strongly pushed in California. It's weird out there to me. I mean, it's so crazy that you got to, you don't have to have a parent or any guardian for like a teenager to get an abortion. And I'm not talking about 18 and up where you're supposed to be a responsible adult. I'm talking about like 14. They're able to get abortions and make these crazy decisions for transgender and stuff as underage, but yet these are the same people that are supposed to be under their parents' tutelage, or not tutelage, I forgive my word on that, but their parents' responsibility to say, hey, you know what, this is your bedtime, this is what you can eat, this is what you can do. But when it comes to these topics, the government has said you are a grown adult to make your own mind. And this is these extremes that come from, I guess, the other side is, I think, why more people have voted for Trump, because they're like, you know, man's got his flaws. I don't agree with everything, but he's stopping that nonsense, you know. And I think that's where a lot of people are, and they do see the little bit of good that has been done in what short time that he has been in office. And with that good that he's done, it kind of outweighs any negative things that he may have done. And so that's really why I think people support Trump, and I get it, because I'm mostly there too. I mean, I couldn't ever lean towards Hillary or Bernie or what's her name, Warren, or any of those people, because they're just way too extreme in control. And that's what it really seems that the left is. They're blatant controlling. You know, in all fairness, the right is a little more subtle with their control, but, you know, you still have those rhinos who vote for laws that it's now illegal to criticize Israel. Why? You know, you hear that cat? That's future Sesame Seed chicken over there. But it's these laws that go to what you can and can't say. It's not just the left doing it, it's the right, but as well, your Dan Crenshaw's one of them that's just, Israel first type guy, and I'm in the thought process we shouldn't be involved in foreign entanglements. But are we gonna honestly get that when we have something to the tune of 800 military bases around the world? Probably not. You know, would the Trump administration be better if his daughter and son-in-law weren't there? Yeah, but is it gonna happen? Probably not. So it's kind of like what my dad used to tell me when I was younger: poop in one hand and wish in the other, and see which one's going to fill up first. And that's kind of our political situation. We have between feces and wishes, which one is really there, you know? So I'm getting a little long-winded on this one. I got other fun topics I want to make a few videos about too, but I'm not going to ever just limit myself to one topic. I will return to topics such as politics and other things like that, and also talk about things such as the flat earth, because it's a very interesting thing. Talk about NASA. I did some more research on NASA and just was reading on their website today and found contradictions. So there's lots of things. I'm not going to just limit it. So that's why it's important for everybody who likes the content. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments. I want to hear from you. I want to have feedback. I'm a little bit of an introvert, but I have no problem interacting online. So everybody, I hope this helped you some way, give you a little bit more insight. Let's be better than what we were the day before. God bless and peace.